Thank you, Jamie.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining us for our first virtual career day. And we promise that it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be rewarding, educational, and fun. So, good morning from Optimism Preventive Services Incorporated. Want to thank the Bunnell Foundation. Want to thank Miss Eileen for reaching out to us, and want to let you know that this is just the beginning of many more of these activities to come to you. So we don't want to prolong time. I'll speak to you guys later at the end. So right now I'm going to introduce Mr. Frank. And Frank, tell me if I'm pronouncing your last name correct. Hayton. Is that correct, Frank?
Is Hatton.
Hatton. Mr. Frank Hatton.
Hatton. Yes.
And he is going to take it from here. So you guys just enjoy. I promise you it's going to be a wonderful power hour, or hour of power, however you want to say it. Go ahead, Frank.
Thank you very much. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to share part of Boeing in our aerospace industry with your group, especially your high schools. Let me introduce myself a little bit. I'm the educational relations focal for the state of South Carolina for Boeing, South Carolina. I have oversight for all of our K through 12 engagements in the Southeast region, specifically South Carolina. So whenever we do engagements like this, or any engagement at the schools, community centers, or churches, or anywhere in the state, I have oversight for that those programming. Because of COVID, we could not do on-site programming or come to your schools or come to events. So we developed this virtual program in partnership with our South Carolina Department of Commerce representatives to give us access to community partners and schools throughout the state so that we could still engage students to make them aware of our industry and careers at Boeing by allowing you guys to talk directly to some of our professionals. So that's what this is all about. It's about you guys having an opportunity to talk to Boeing employees that are based right here in South Carolina about their jobs, how they got their jobs, kind of education, what you might need to do in high school to get prepared for these jobs. So it's a great opportunity for you guys to learn right now about careers we have and some of the skills you would need to get those careers. I want you also to pay special attention to our partners from the South Carolina Department of Commerce. We have representatives on this call that support your communities. These representatives are in your community and they can assist you with programming that's paid for by the state that you can take part in. So between the two of us, if you guys listen to your educators and those partners with the South Carolina Commerce Department, you could potentially, while you're in high school, take the correct classes and the correct programs that would allow you to graduate high school with a high school diploma or a 2-year associate's degree in some specific thing that could actually qualify you to apply for a job at Boeing right out of high school, or go to college and have 1 or 2 years of your college already paid for. That will make you more apt to be in a position and get in with Boeing while you're in college. So please take advantage of this call to listen, and don't be afraid to ask questions, okay? So we were going to play a video, but my teammate who has the video hadn't got it join the call yet. So what we'll do, we're just going to go ahead with our teammates one by one and let them introduce themselves and talk to you about a little bit about their careers. Each teammate's going to have about 10 minutes because I want to give you guys a lot of time on the back end to ask questions, okay? You can ask the question in the chat session or just ask the question out loud. So could we come up with the first teammate? It doesn't matter which order you come up with, besides mine.
Jamie.
Whoever has.
Thanks, Jamie.
There you go, Eddie. You have the ball.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hey, everyone from school. I hope you're enjoying your virtual time. It's new, different, but we have to adapt, right? So my name is Eddie Chacon. I'm from Central America. So I was kind of born in a country called Guatemala, which is right north or south of Mexico. I come from an immigrant family who migrated to the U.S. when I was 4, and I kind of grew up in New Jersey. And then as I was going through high school, so I know exactly what a lot of you all are kind of facing, studying hard, making sure you have good grades so that you could apply eventually for college and continue on to your education. So I was involved in the first robotics program, and that's kind of what got me interested into engineering. And I decided to move out to PA to continue my schooling as an industrial engineer. I actually started as an electrical engineer, but then switched it to industrial. And because I come from an immigrant family, I kind of have to pay my own way through school. And it's been a bit of a struggle. So I've been in school a lot longer than most people. And that's because I usually go to school for a semester or 2 and take either a semester or 2 off, try to work, save money, and go back. But the route that I followed is a little bit unconventional in the sense that rather than taking a year off or a semester off and working for like a Subway or McDonald's or Walmart, not that there's anything wrong with it, I figured I might as well get real world experience relevant to my major. So I started applying for companies to do an internship, summer internship or a spring or fall co-op, and had to have the good opportunity to work for some companies like Google or Tesla and here at Boeing. Cool thing about that is they're all very distinct industries. You know, Boeing's in the aerospace, Tesla's in the auto industry, Google is in the information technology. And because of that, and because of what I've learned at school, at least the principles of engineering, it's allowed me to be a little bit flexible in the areas that I work in, right? So in addition to that, I also took a year and a half off actually from school to kind of backpack around the world to kind of discover myself. So fun fact about me is I've traveled to like 47 different countries and 6 different continents. And that journey has really humbled me in the sense that I've kind of lived with families who really have nothing. And I saw that in my own family whenever they decide to move to the US. My family never graduated from high school, so which is why my journey for higher education was a little bit more complicated because I didn't know, like my parents didn't know how to apply for colleges or what's a good college to go to, let alone afford for me to go to it. So while I traveled the world and lived with people less fortunate than me, I've also realized the importance of giving back to the community. In high school, I volunteered a lot. I played sports. I was involved in student organizations. And in college, nothing had changed. My passion to help out people, students, especially those who come from immigrant families, those who are Latinos, underrepresented communities, to kind of pull them forward so they're not left behind is a big passion of mine. And I hope it's the same thing for you guys whenever you guys decide to go to college or even move on to work. So because of that, I every December I go back to Guatemala and volunteer for a nonprofit organization where we build homes for families who have either been displaced by natural disasters, who come in very, very impoverished communities. Like these are families who may have kids who just may be the mother and the father disappeared out of the picture and never owned a home, you know, and the kids can't go to school because they have to stay back home and help the mom, you know, work, you know, earn money and survive. So the organization provides a home for them, hopefully as a stepping stone to move forward so that the kids can focus on education and the mother has a roof over their head. So as you continue your journey in high school and college, I implore you to give back. You know, a lot of us come from underrepresented communities. Some of us come from very economically disenfranchised communities. So as we become professionals and as you guys continue on to your education and get hopefully good jobs and hopefully work for Boeing, to always give back and never forget where you came from. And that's a little bit about me.
Eddie, before we go to the next person, could you share with them a little bit about the internship process?
Yeah, so, yeah, sure. So the cool thing about Boeing is because the company is so big, it offers internship programs in all industries. So if you're studying engineering, they bring in over 2,000 students from across the country, actually from across the world, to work either in Seattle, California, Charleston, and get real world experience. So as an intern, I interned last summer in Seattle, and this summer I was due to intern in Charleston. I still work as a project manager, so I get real world experience. I'm not making coffee or photocopying papers. Like they treat me as a full-time employee. And because of that, they expect me to perform as a full-time employee. And that's pretty cool because you are seeing what you learn in academia, in other words, in school, and then applying it in the real world. And you kind of get that sense of pride because you're like, wow, I really am making an impact in the way, for example, here at Boeing, how they make planes, you know. And in Seattle, it was so awesome just to walk by and see these massive planes being built right in front of your eyes. And you're a part of that. And that's pretty cool.
Thank you very much. And we're going to go to our next speaker now. And once all the speakers have a chance to speak, we're going to hopefully hear a lot of questions from our students, okay? Can we bring up the next slide? I think that will be Terrence. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terrence LaShore. My home here says Mobile, Alabama, which I do consider home, but I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. As you can see, I have a wife, son, and 2 daughters. The ages on here, this is a typo. This is my mistake. My youngest daughter, I have 2 25-year-olds, and my youngest daughter is 18. She's in college now. My educational background, I have an associate's from Troy State University, where I played football. University of Alabama, where I wish I played football. And I have a BS and a master's degree from Embry-Riddle University, which is an aeronautical university. My background, I am an old man, and looking at this slide makes me feel like an old man. I have 20 plus years in aviation, 13 years as a contract and a direct employee for the Boeing company. So I have roughly 34 years in aviation. I'm very blessed, very happy, very lucky to be in aviation. I'm one of those professional students. I never really knew what I wanted to do. Coming out of high school, I come from a big family. I have 5 brothers. I was the middle, and very competitive, very, very athletic. We played sports. That's all we did: baseball, basketball, track. I was a football and track person. I went to college, and I'm a legacy, Alabama. I have 1 uncle and 3 cousins that actually played for the mighty Roll Tide. I wasn't as fortunate. I thought I was better than I was. So I'm sure there's a couple of people on here that play sports or think they're good at something. And you have to remember how many people actually get to make it. I thought I was better than I was, blew out my knee, and from there I didn't have a plan. So I was lucky enough to get into aviation. With aviation, I've traveled all over the world. I've worked in some of the harshest places, some of the most exciting places. Before I actually accepted my position at the Boeing company, I worked in Iraq, Afghanistan. Excuse me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I worked in Iraq, Afghanistan, and I actually lived in Kuwait for 2.5 years before I accepted the position at Boeing. You've heard Frank and our speaker before me say something that I want you all to really, really pay attention to. Boeing can help you go to school. Boeing can pay for your education. Before I came to Boeing, I only had my associate's degree from Troy University. Boeing, my degree from Alabama, my degree and graduate degree from Embry-Riddle, Boeing paid for completely. Boeing, there's certain times in your life that changes your life. Going overseas, working, and coming to work for Boeing changed the course of my family's life, not just myself, but my family. A little bit about my background. I'm an A&P mechanic. An A&P mechanic is A&P is a license. It's called an airframe and power plant mechanic. That basically gives me a license to work on any air traveling aircraft or air traveling vehicle, as we call it. I've worked on spaceship. I've worked on the Hubble telescope. I've worked on Boeing aircrafts. I've worked on helicopters. I've worked on just about everything. Fighter jets, attack helicopters. I've worked on it. I came to Boeing as a mechanic, again, as a contractor. Someone saw something in me. And that's another thing. When people see something in you, someone tries to help you, take that help. Don't be too prideful and not take that help. We all need help. I'm an old man, like I said, and I still have 2 mentors that I go and talk to and sit down and get advice from. It's not men. I don't know how many students on here are teenage boys, but as a man, I come from the inner city of New Orleans, and we're taught to stand on our own. But there are times when you need to stand with somebody, ask for help, ask for a mentor. It can be official or unofficial mentor, just somebody that you look up to, someone that you want to get in that same spot, that same area. You want to learn what they learn, see how they get there. I came to Boeing and I actually had a couple of mentors that saw something in me and said, hey, you need to stop all this traveling, sit your family down and come to Boeing and see what you can do. And I did that. Again, Boeing paid for my education. I became a mechanic. I went from mechanic to ME. Let's just say in layman's term, I was a ME planner. And what an ME planner is, have you all ever built a shelf in your house or did a puzzle and they give you the directions on how to do something? That's at that time, that was my job. I actually wrote the instructions to tell you how to put that puzzle together, how to put that table together. From there, I continued my education and I became a ME, my degree is in mechanical engineering, but I was a manufacturing engineer. Kept with my education, kept with different mentors. You don't have to keep the same mentor. As time goes by, you progress. In life, you're always trying to progress. And I am a nerd. I am a big old nerd. I love gadgets. I love phones. I love tearing stuff up and putting it back together. And someone told me, hey, why don't you try to program robots? And when I say program robots, you have to understand, I'm not talking about the kind of robots that you see. I'm talking about the robots that we have here that build the aircraft. I went to NC programming. I programmed the giant machine that drilled and filled holes. I also programmed the robot arms that actually paint our aircraft here. From there, I kept with my education and I got my graduate's degree. And I went into another direction as far as my career. Currently, I'm an operations manager, production manager. I have a team of 33 people that my teammates and we build the aircraft. We build certain sections of the aircraft. So if nothing else you take from me, from my time visiting with you, I want you to take one thing: never give up. You don't have to come out of high school with a plan. Now, don't get me wrong. It's great to have a plan and stick with that plan. But sometimes you have to deviate. Sometimes you're going to go different routes. You look at my education, you look at where I went, where I came, where I'm going. I never had complete direction. But one thing, I never gave up. You don't have to have a plan, or you can have a plan, but you're going to deviate. There's in life, there's no straight line to where you want to go, where you want to be. There are going to be curves. There are going to be different things. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. You have 2 speakers on here. Hopefully our 3rd speaker, Aaron, gets on here with all different and diverse backgrounds. I don't know how many of you all have been to New Orleans, I don't know how many of you all have been to Guatemala, but these are places, New Orleans, I can speak for myself, they don't expect people that look like me to come out of there, be successful. You're either going to play sports or do something that you're not supposed to be. You're going to be a detriment to society. Just remember, only you can make your decisions. Only you are responsible for what you do, and don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. And that's my presentations. Hopefully you all have some questions. I'll be here and we can talk.
Wow. Mr. Terrence, that was heartfelt. What a testimony. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences and from the heart. I want to just pause for a moment and touch on a few things that you said to remind our students. You mentioned having A&P license. That's something you can get at the Pittsburgh Institute for Aeronautics right here in Myrtle Beach. I don't know if you all realize that. And Miss Denise, we can arrange for a virtual tour of that or even an in-person one when y'all are ready. And the other thing I want to mention while it's fresh in everybody's mind, Mr. Terrence, you mentioned how important programming was. And South Carolina, you may not realize this, but they offer free coding based on the Iron Yard curriculum. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. No.
I will share it with all, I think you're on one of the emails. It's called sccodes.org. And it's the Secretary of Commerce, Bobby Hitt, his son went through the program, and Bobby thought, how can I open this to everybody in our state to raise people up? You can do it right from your own home. Miss Denise, we've got mentor sites at the Georgetown Library. In fact, I'm really proud of the Georgetown Library has taken SC codes, and instead of just making an independent study, we've got people there that have gone through all the curriculum and can help you. So we're offering at Andrews Library, Georgetown, and Carver's Bay, but Georgetown Library is right by you. And it's something our students, while we're home with COVID, can be opening doors of tremendous opportunity. There's a portal on there where they can find jobs, but you can learn coding. You could go to the next level, and it's something you can share with your Boeing, South Carolina teammates.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will pause on my infomercial and turn it over to our students and back to Frank.
Thank you, Eileen. Is Aaron on the call yet?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'm sorry, my computer decided to do a download and shut down completely. So my apologies.
Well, you get
Good morning, Aaron.
Good
have your
morning,
camp
Red.
I just
I'm
want to
so
say
motivated by what you just said. I'm ready to go back to school.
Which part was it when I said roll tide?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good morning, almost afternoon. My name is Erin Bells, and I am a lead structures design engineer supporting the aft body at Boeing, South Carolina. I am originally from Detroit, Michigan. I have been here in South Carolina for a little over 11 years. As far as my family, my direct family right now, I have a fur baby. Her name is Babs. I adopted her about 3 years ago. All of my family is back in Michigan. I am the sole person here in South Carolina. So relocating here I didn't second guess it. I'm happy with my move. I have no regrets, but it does get tough sometimes when you just want to have your family around you, especially now during this new normal. As far as my education, I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering from the University of Michigan. Work experience, when I graduated from Michigan, I did not have a job. during my school year, I was mainly involved in programs, engineering programs on the college campus. So I technically did not do an internship, and I really paid for it when I graduated. I did find a job. I started out at Motorola, and at that time, I think they called them, and I'm giving my age, putting my age out there, but I was a secretary. So I started out at Motorola, and then I moved into, I transitioned to an architectural engineering firm. And I was able to do that because I knew someone who worked there. I knew someone who knew someone. So networking is key. Make your connections. I moved into the architectural engineering firm. I worked for 2 different firms where I designed heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems, and plumbing. From there, I was able to move into Chrysler. Now, being from Detroit, that's where the big 3 are. We call it the big 3. We have Chrysler, GM, and Ford. And I was able to move into Chrysler again because I knew someone. So that networking, knowing people and letting them know that you need help, opened doors for me. I started out at Chrysler as a production supervisor, and then I moved into an industrial engineering position. And then from there, I became a project engineer or product engineer, where I was responsible for the head assembly for Hemi engines. Not sure if you all are familiar, but there was a big hit to the automotive field back in 2008, 2009. And at that time, I had just moved in. I had been in my product engineering position for a couple of years. But as far as the team I was on, I was low on the totem pole as far as seniority. So I was afraid that I was going to get laid off. So at that time, I started looking for jobs. And a friend of mine, again, networking, a friend of mine told me about a conference that was being held with the Society of Women Engineers. And it was being held in, I think it was Houston. So I bought a ticket last minute. I didn't even register for the conference. Flew to Houston. No, it was in Baltimore, because I was able to stay with a relative. It was in Baltimore, Maryland. Flew there, went to the conference, just registered for the career fair, nothing else. Went to the career fair, and Global Aeronautica was there at the time. I was able to interview on site at the conference, and the rest is history. I got an offer from Global Aeronautica, and then Global Aeronautica became Boeing. So that's how I became a Boeing employee. I have been with Boeing for a little over 11 years. Like I said, my relocation here was for Boeing. And I started out as a manufacturing engineer. Terrence touched on that. And then since then, I've moved into design engineering. It has been a blessing to be a Boeing employee. And like I said, no regrets for making the relocation here. Outside of that, I love to get involved. I'm currently the treasurer, and this is my way of giving back. I'm a treasurer for SWE, Society of Women Engineers Low Country, and I am also the treasurer for CEJC, which is the Charleston Engineers Joint Council. And I advise, if you're looking for a scholarship, to Google both of these, because we do give scholarships for graduating seniors, high school seniors. I'm also involved with NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. I want to say I used to be a NSBE pro before the pandemic, which was we would go to Goodwin Elementary, which is a local elementary school right down the street from Boeing. and do STEM related activities with the students there. This was an after school program. And this was an opportunity to basically plant the seed and to show the students really what STEM is all about. And that STEM is not something that, you know, just persons with engineering degrees or whatever can do. Anybody can do STEM. And there's so many opportunities out there that STEM touches. I also love to volunteer, mentor, do community outreach. The top left picture with our safety vests on, that's Boeing. We're doing Adopt a Highway, where we go out and pick up trash along Dorchester Road. The picture below is at the Women of Color STEM Conference. I received an award 2 years ago, and this conference is held in Detroit, Michigan, which was awesome for me to go back home and have my mom there to witness me getting that award. And I'm also very involved with my church. So look, that's a little bit about me, and I'm open for any questions.
Thank you very much. Ms. Denise, do you want to open it to questions for the students? And how would you like to do it? Do you want to have them raise their hand or type them in?
Yes.
Let me make a quick statement before you start
Okay.
that, if you don't mind. First of all, I want to thank our teammates for volunteering their time to do this. Boeing does not pay our teammates to do this. This is all done on a volunteer basis. If they're at work right now, they actually have to make this time up. So they're giving up time from their work day to come here and support these, and they make the time up on the back end. That's how important our teammates think this is. I'm the only one that this is my real job. Those three teammates and our South Carolina Department of Commerce representatives on this call are in a position to assist you right now if you just step out on faith, open your mouth, and ask a question. No questions too strange. Trust me, I've been doing this for over 40 years. Please don't let this opportunity slide by. You have a huge company like Boeing that's giving up our time to come to talk to you about potential opportunities. You have the South Carolina Department of Commerce that's right there in your community that's saying they can work with you right now while you're in school to position you for opportunities at companies like Boeing or the companies that are in your community. Nobody said anything about paying money for anything yet, have they? Everybody said everything's free so far. Mm-hmm. Please, young people, do not let this opportunity slide by. Okay.
Thank you, Frank. Again, I'm just so amazed by all of the young people that we have joining us this morning. So we are going to open up at this point for questions. And to sort of help you guys, we emailed you some questions. If you want to look through those questions and take it from there, if you have any that is not listed, we're going to open it up. And if you just raise your hand, and Jamie, I think you can help with that when they're ready to ask their question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I do already see one in the chat. A question for Aaron from Brenda. It says, Aaron, what surprised you about working for Boeing?
What surprised me? Well, going from automotive to aerospace, when you look at a car and when you look at a plane is a lot bigger. I was, but the functions are similar, right? So the functions are similar, but I was very, taken aback of how huge this plane was. Like, I flew on planes before, but to actually see it while it's getting assembled is a little different. You know, you get to see the whole picture. And I still have problems walking on the barrel because it's just so huge. But but another thing that surprised me, and I'm going to go on the manufacturing side, is how quiet it is in the plant. So going from an automotive plant, there's a lot of fabrication going on. So you're hearing all kinds of drilling, milling, all these different sounds. But going to Boeing, I started out in mid-body, and our mid-body fuselage comes from another country. It comes from Italy. So it comes already partially assembled. And then we do the final assembly. But the fabrication of it is pretty much done. So I was really surprised at how quiet our plants are compared to the automotive plants. I won't go too much into that, but yeah.
Okay. And Jamie, I think we have a question from Mariah.
Yeah, it looks like this would be for anyone. Frank, it might be for you, but are there certain requirements that you need to get into Boeing?
I'm gonna let the manager on the call take that call, Mr. Terrence. He's actually a manager. He can actually hire people, young people.
Yeah,
Mr.
thanks for
Terrence, you
that
want to take that?
pressure. Thanks for that pressure, Frank. First of all, I want to say, Miss Denise, I like you. I haven't been
Thank you.
called young in a long time. The requirements. Let's talk about something Miss Elaine, I'm sorry. She talked about earlier the AMP role. They didn't offer this when I was in high school. I have an AMP. I also have an IA, and that they go hand in hand. But let's start with the AMP first. You can go through high schools. I believe it starts in the 10th grade, and you can actually get an associate's degree in aircraft maintenance. So a roundabout question, because I don't want to take all the time. We are here to talk to you about STEM. We're here to talk to you about engineering, math, sciences. But there are other ways to be influenced, other ways to be involved in this. The AMP is perfect. You can come out of high school. One of the requirements that we have here, I think the youngest person that I've personally hired was 19. He was going into 20, but 19. And when I say he, ladies on here, young ladies, don't be discouraged, because we have, I have counterparts that are managers. My boss is a young lady that, and she'll probably like I'm calling her young, a young lady. She runs this factory. She is very good at her job. So ladies, don't be discouraged. This is a manufacturing environment, but you can work it. To be an engineer, let me speak on manufacturing engineers and what we did. You have what we call manufacturing planners. You don't have to have a degree to do that. You just have to have a knowledge and understanding and what so you have a manufacturing planner, and you have a manufacturing engineer. What that manufacturing planner does, he's basically an interpreter. Think of our guest speaker from Guatemala. If we were to go to Guatemala, we don't know Spanish, he will interpret for us from you to the Spanish-speaking person, back and forth. What a manufacturing planner does, he's an interpreter. He speaks from the engineers to the mechanics on the floor in a language that they can understand, but also take those problems from the mechanics on the floor back to the engineers. So the basic thing that I'm trying to say right here, you have to have an understanding, a confidence in yourself to be able to do what we do. We don't want people in the Boeing engineering side, the operation side, the production side, quality side. We don't want people that are afraid to be themselves. We don't want people that don't have confidence in themselves. Right now, start building your confidence up. When you come in and you sit down in front of me and you're looking for a job, I have people that I mentor, you coming in front of me, first thing you have to do is look me eye to eye, talk to me, and not be afraid. There are no dumb questions. There's nothing anybody can say to you that should dwindle your confidence. So the biggest thing right now I want everyone to do on here is to start being confident in yourself. Start looking at things what you're good at. But don't just look at what you're good at. Look at what you're weak at and go fix it. Then once you come to me or you come to Erin, because she'll be running things soon, you come to us looking for help, a job, just somebody to talk to. You have somebody to talk to, but you got to come in front of me with confidence. Frank just said a moment ago, we want you all to talk to us and ask us questions. I want you all to be first. I want you all to be jumping in front of each other, respectfully, of course, and ask these questions. You got us here for another couple of minutes. Whatever you want to know, let's ask.
We have 2 more questions, and then Mr. Frank, I'm going to turn it back over to you after these 2 questions to allow them to win some Boeing's swag. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So I think is Jamarcus wants to know from you, I think, Terrence, what is MBS? He says, what does MBS mean, Terrence? That's from Jamarcus, Washington.
MBS or MBA?
Jamarcus, you want to go ahead and clear that for us?
I meant when I saw it on his presentation, I was curious to know what it meant. MBS. I saw the MBA part, but you had an MBS on the presentation.
MS.
Okay.
Yeah.
MS is a Master's of Science. I have an MBA, which is a Master's of Business Administration, and I have an MS, a Master's of Science in Organizational Leadership.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And
Andrew,
can I ask, were those degrees funded by Boeing, or did you secure them prior to your arrival at Boeing?
Great question. I had an associate's degree before I came.
So hold on, let me just pause here. That would be a 2-year degree like what you would get at Horry Georgetown Tech. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. From there, I came to Boeing. Boeing has paid for 4 degrees for me. University of Alabama, and 3, I didn't have the 3rd one on there. So for you to see MS, I must have forgotten, but 3 from Embry-Riddle. I have a BS, Bachelor's of Science in Technical Management. I have a MS in Organizational Leadership and Development, and I have an MBA. Now, a lot of people, I don't want you all to think, oh, this person is smart, this, that. No, you don't. You have to be determined. My degrees, first of all, my 2 master's degrees, I literally got credit to go into the 2nd one. So you ever heard of a dual program? So my master's degrees are dual programs. And don't let a degree intimidate you. Don't let somebody with letters in front of a degree or letters after their names intimidate you. They're just degrees. They're just, all the degree says is I actually sat down and had the patience to continue with education.
We have some really good questions. Guys, I'm going to ask you
we still have time to take some more of those questions.
Yeah, no, what I was going to ask, I want them to ask if they'll turn their cameras on and raise their hand. And Jamie, can you bring them in so that we can see them? Because these questions are very good. So we want to see who we're talking to.
For the sake of time, can we ask one more question? And do me a favor, if you can send the questions to me,
okay,
I'll share them with our teammates and they can respond that way.
Okay.
Hey, Jamie, can you gather that sidebar for us and send them?
Should be able to send those one at a time. Frank, I'll send them over to you.
Thank you.
I did want to give the teammates an opportunity to ask the students some questions based on what we've been discussing, so they can win some votes.
Gotcha.
We sent over. You had one more question we can maybe get in before we let the teammates ask questions?
I think we talked about how many females we have at Boeing. That was a question, Erin, that I thought was interesting.
I can
And
answer
we
the demographic kind of questions if you
Okay,
want.
go ahead.
From a demographic breakdown standpoint, we have approximately 6,500 employees at Boeing in South Carolina. Across the world, about 165,000, and every state of the union and 72 countries. The breakdown in South Carolina, about 1/3 of our employees are females. When it comes to employees who have degrees versus not degrees, that means at least a 2-year degree or above. About half of our employees have at least a 2-year degree or above. That means half of our employees only have a high school diploma and work experience. As Terrence said, all of our employees have the opportunity, if they want to go back to school, and Boeing will pay for everything. To improve yourself, get skills, and potentially get a higher salary job. But don't sleep on the fact what Terrence said and what Miss Eileen has said. You can get all that education for free while you're in high school if you get into the right programs and you get the right support to make yourself more competitive and more marketable. Remember, once you graduate high school, you start competing with people like me. And I'm not gonna let you just walk in here and take my job. So the more competitive you are and the more skills you have, the more options you have. So make sure you do a good job preparing yourself. So with that,
And so we, yeah, I was just
so
going
we
to
have
say
10 minutes
with
left.
that, yeah.
Let's want to ask the questions. So can I get each of our Boeing teammates to think about at least 1 or 2 questions they can ask the students based on what we've shared? I'm going to ask the students to respond in the chat versus just screaming it out. And we need somebody to be the judge as to who typed it in the fastest. Who wants to be the judge? It won't be a Boeing
Jamie,
person.
Yeah, I can keep track of that. This is Jamie.
Jamison, he'll keep
Yeah,
track
you'll be
for
able to
us.
tell by the chat
Yeah.
window who answers first.
By the time stamp. Okay, ladies first. You want to go first, Erin, with your question?
Really. I don't know what I'm not sure. I missed the beginning, so I don't know what all you guys went over.
It can be
But I would.
a question about what you talked about.
Oh, about what I talked about.
Yeah, anything
Okay.
that we shared.
Okay. I got a question. What part of the airplane do I support?
They should put the answer in the chat session. Anybody yet?
Ooh, I know. Can I help?
Put it in chat.
There's 3 sections of the fuselage. I'm giving you more information than I should, but I'll help you.
Okay,
There's 3
so
sections. There's the forward, there's the mid, and there's the aft. Which section do I support?
So Jamarcus and I have a sidebar conversation going, and he just answered privately to me. And he said passenger.
Oh, Tatiana
got
got it. Tatiana Gibbs.
So somebody record that for Miss Tatiana.
I support the aft body, which is the rear end of the airplane.
Good job.
Looks like
I
Tati
think
was first.
I think Andrew Matthews said app first. You may have not spelled it correctly.
I'm sorry, you gotta spell it right too.
Okay, good. There you go. See, there you go. Good catch.
So that first one would be Tati.
Yes, ma'am.
Eddie, you want to ask the next question?
Sure. Yeah. So I said I was involved in a high school after school program called What that got me interested in engineering. What after school program in high school was I involved in that got me into engineering.
And we have these in Georgetown in every high school.
Now, it's not STEM, but it does encourage you to go into STEM. Remember, STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. But what's the name of the program event?
Come on, guys.
I'll give you a clue. Has to do with robots.
And I'll give you a clue. We have a big competition in February at the convention center.
There you go. Robotics. Yeah.
Did Journey get it? I think it's Journey.
I'll take robotics.
Okay, it's
but
first,
yeah,
first
robotics.
So who got that one first?
I think it was Journey.
Yeah,
I think.
it's Journey.
Okay. Mr. Terrence, you got a question?
Yes. I mentioned that I have a certification. I didn't mention that it's a FAA certification that allows me to work on aircraft. I've used this certification to work around the world. Ms. Elaine said that we actually can do this in high school. I mentioned we can do it in high school. And I think she said you had some campuses there in Georgetown.
We have a campus in Myrtle Beach that does it. At Market Commons, folks.
What is this certification?
Oh.
So close. I mean, so close. Brian.
No.
Didn't you get it for 2 years? You need a certificate for 2 years.
I know I'm boring, but I know somebody had to be paying attention. I understand. So let's
we got it. Audra got it.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Well, we'll take that. But the certification is called an ANP, but I did work in aviation maintenance. So yes, that is correct. But an ANP is a FAA license to basically a license to work on any aircraft.
So when he says FAA, that's the Federal Aviation Administration. And the FAA actually comes to this school at the Market Common to inspect. And they show up unannounced, and they'll make sure that they're getting seat time and everything is in place.
Ooh, the FAA is no joke.
They're not playing. Yeah, I barged in one time to say hi to the director, and she gave me a weird look, and she was like, "Meet the FAA."
Terrence, just for clarification, are you saying A and P or AMP?
It's ANP. What ANP stands for is airframe and power plant. You can get one or both of these licenses, depending on your job. These are skill-specific licenses. The most common is getting both. You get both. You can work on the airframe. That's where you work on the climate control, which is the AC, the heating. You work on the body of the aircraft. The power plant is where you actually work on the engines, rigging the wings, the flying elements to help you. But the most common, everybody tries to get the ANP. You get the ANP. Matter of fact, as a mechanic, you can get a regular job as a mechanic without the license. But most of the time, if you get the ANP, you get $5 more, if that's any incentive for anybody out there.
$5 more an hour, you mean, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 8 hours a day, $40 a day, do the math.
I have a general question that I think everybody here should know, because you need to understand once we get off this call who can help you. This is my question. Can you guys tell me the name of the organization, the state organization that Boeing is partnering with to give you this call? I told you the name of the state organization. Miss Eileen is a member of that organization. It's the organization that she works for. What's the name of the organization? You need to know that because when Boeing leaves, Miss Eileen's going to still be here. She can help you out.
I need to know that too, Miss Smith, because I
Y'all
want to know
want me,
that
y'all
coding
want to read my
class.
lips and I give you the answer?
Mr. Terrence, I think we're on the same email. I'll send you the link.
Yes, thank you.
And take advantage of it and please share.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you might even be able to be a mentor.
I'll be more than happy after I take the class.
Okay.
Nobody's gotten it. So nobody was listening to that. If they put the acronym, I'm just going to ask them to tell me what the acronym means.
Audra, what do you mean on SCDMC? And Andrew, you're right. I partner with Optimism and Miss Denise. Audra, what one do you think it is? It's South Carolina and it's got a C in it. So
It's very
you're
close.
very close.
Guys, I'm not like my teammates. I'm a lot more hardcore. If it's not right, I don't give them a curve.
Close isn't cutting it.
You ought to see him correct math. Yes, Audra.
Hey.
Yeah, Audra.
Audra, are you also in Sisters in STEM? I'm wondering if she's one of our sisters because I wore my shirt today to represent.
I know that you have one. Aaliyah Jones is with us. She's a
sister.
Mm-hmm.
Audra says no.
Hi, Aaliyah. How are you?
Quick question, because I'm trying to be conscious of time here. Do the 4 students who got it right? Nobody got more than one answer, right?
Right.
Is that correct? Can
Did
you do
Audra
me a
get
favor? Let's do a tiebreaker. Those 4 students. You okay with that, ma'am?
Fine.
Okay. Do you want to ask them a question, or you want me to ask them one?
You can ask them.
Okay, I'll ask them a very simple question. What city in South Carolina is Boeing located in?
Bam. Quick.
Wow.
If I don't say something, it's not right. They haven't put the answer on there yet. Young people, you do realize you can just hit Google and it'll tell you.
And Mariah, they're not in Georgetown, but we do have a Boeing supplier in Georgetown at SafeRack.
There we go.
There we go. Tatiana got it.
Somebody looked into Google. Very good. So that's very good.
A moment. Give me a moment. Yeah.
Now, since we're basically out of time here, let me reiterate here, guys. The reason that we're doing these calls, it's a little bit more than just to get you to understand things about Boeing. It's to get you to understand that there are some tremendous opportunities in this state when it comes to the STEM fields and advanced manufacturing. Not only do you have companies like Boeing here, you have 3 automotive manufacturers in the state right now. Mercedes, Volvo, and BMW. They all need to hire people. All these big giant companies that are coming to the state have these things called suppliers or vendors that build parts and supply them with materials that are moving to the state. They all need employees. So the opportunities in the state are tremendous. But you don't have any of these opportunities if you don't prepare yourself with the education and with the skills that you will need to be competitive. All 3 of our teammates share with you some skills that they've used to get to their careers right now. You should take those messages they gave you, work with the organization you have right now, reach out to Miss Eileen and let them help you. No one has to struggle anymore to make this happen. trust me on this call. I'm probably the oldest one on this call. I graduated high school in 1976. I graduated college in 1980. You guys, probably your parents weren't even born then. You have an opportunity, guys, that I did not have coming out of high school. You have the world's largest aerospace company on this call right now. We are about an hour and a half from where you live to tell you that if you do what you need to do, you could have an opportunity with us and let us help you change your life. If you don't take advantage of this right now, you got to look yourself in the face and you can't start blaming people. This is all on you right now. Okay?
And a testament to that is you have 3 people on here that talk to you. None of us are from here. We all beat the road, beat the highway to get here, and you all could work at home. Some of us are very far from home, so take advantage of it.
Yeah. Eddie or Aaron, do you guys want to say anything before we close out?
I can't agree enough with what Frank said. I mean, you guys heard my story, you know, I'm paying my own way through school. I wish I had the opportunities we all have, you know. Take advantage of them. It'll save you a lot of money. And you get to learn a lot too. Plus, you'll have an advantage against those who, you know, started off later on with their certification or getting their bachelor's. So definitely, you know, seize the opportunity. I'm envious.
I just say network, make those connections, get those scholarships. There's so much money out there that's available, and all you have to do is apply. And I will say, again, Google SWELO Country and Charleston Engineers Joint Council. Those are 2 organizations that I'm involved with that I know give out scholarships. And
Mr.
National
Terrence.
Society of Black Engineers, Charleston Professionals, that's the local chapter. They give out scholarships as well.
I just realized Miss Marjorie MacGyver is on.
Yeah.
I didn't even see you on. And Mr. Frank, she would like us to please share the teammate slides. Would that be okay?
Yes, that's all. That's not a problem.
How did I not see you, Miss MacGyver?
She's there.
Okay.
Just
did you have anything else?
listening as always.
Yes.
Well,
Did you have
Frank.
anything else you want to say, Terrence, before we close out?
I can make myself available. I had a couple people that asked questions about the AMP. Excuse me, I have phone calls and buzzers everywhere. Anybody that wants to know more about AMP, I know not everybody is built for STEM. We would encourage you to look at it because you're going to need it. But anybody that wants to know more about the AMP or just mechanic overall, I can make myself available and through email. But first, please contact an adult to make sure you can contact me. But I can make myself available.
all right, let's ask that if we contact Mr. Terrence or Mr. Frank, that we keep Ms. Denise copied on the email is what I like to do.
Okay.
Just to keep an adult in the loop there.
Please do.
Well,
And I just wanted to say again before we leave, just to thank everyone. And to our teams, those of you that answered questions correctly, and for all of you that's participating, please email me your mailing address. Some of you will be receiving Boeing swag, and all of you will receive something from Optimism in the mail. So please send me your mailing address. Don't forget, I sent you a survey. Please return your survey, share it with Mr. Frank and Ms. Eileen about your experience today, and answer the question. One of the questions was, would you like to do this on a monthly basis? And if you would, we can go ahead and start putting that plan together, and we can hear from Boeing's monthly. So please share your survey with us.
Ms. Chapman, one more thing that I think we need to make sure the kids understand. Boeing is a very large company, guys. You do not have to be a STEM professional to work at Boeing. I've been working at Boeing for 13 years. I am not a STEM professional. All my degrees are in business. And I have a very good job that pays me a lot of money at this company. There are tremendous opportunities in almost any career field you can think about. You want to be a doctor? We have a medical facility at Boeing. You can be a doctor at Boeing. You can be a physical therapist. We have a communications department. We actually have a photographer here. So don't just think if I don't want to do STEM, I can't work at a company like Boeing. You actually can. The key thing is getting those skill sets while you're in high school to make yourself competitive enough to compete for these jobs. As Terrence said, not one of us, of the 4 people that call this call, happen to be from South Carolina. We need to change that, guys. We need to have more people born and raised in South Carolina working for this company. So that Boeing doesn't have to keep going out of state to hire people. We can go if we want to, but there should be no reason why we can't get talent from right here in our backyard.
Exactly.
But you must be competitive enough to compete to get these jobs. Okay?
And Frank and Miss Eileen, I would dare not leave here without asking Miss Marjorie to say something. She is just so supportive of us and encouraging, and we have been partnering and teaming up, and there's good things coming from Georgetown to Horry County, from Horry County to Georgetown. Ms. McGraw,
I
just
love
briefly.
Miss Marjorie.
Yes, Ms. Marjorie, please.
Listen, I am so happy to be a part of this. And anytime I hear Eileen's name or Denise's name, I know something's going to happen and happen good for our young people. We have about 6 of them on from the program that we are working on this summer. And we've been a part of Denise's efforts since I became aware of who Denise is. And so this opportunity for the young people to at least get a start in this direction and looking at the careers and the positions, the varied positions that are offered at Boeing. I just thought you all dealt with aircraft and flying and just whatever. But I see all of these opportunities that these young people would be remiss if they did not at least explore them. So with Eileen and Denise, and then we have a friend here who has my name.
And I see that. Is that Miss Frazier?
Yes, Marlo Frazier. She is STEM, she is technology, she is our guru that helps us to iron out a lot of things.
And Mr. Frank,
technology.
Marla's at the ATA. You all have been out there in Horry County.
Yes. So again, I just want to thank you, and on behalf of the young people who are here from Horry County, we certainly want to thank you for this opportunity and look forward to some additional experiences and exposures with Boeing. I'm from Charleston too. I know you could tell by now.
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
guys so much. Mr. Frank, Miss Eileen, you have anything else before we close out?
God bless you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to our Boeing team. This is exhausting, but I don't know how we would have been able to corral all of you live. So this is one of the silver linings of the unprecedented times we're in. So thank you very, very much.
Okay.
I do have one official Boeing question. Do we have any elected officials or any media on the call? We always have to ask that question.
I don't think so, Frank. I'm not seeing anybody.
Okay.
So no elected officials, no media. Okay.
And can we just do this? If everybody put your hands like this, because we can't clap, but we really appreciate our technician, Jamie, did an awesome job. So just do like that. This is for you, Jamie. Thanks, you.
Jamie.
Thank you so much. Mr. Frank, we are looking forward to doing so many more of these. You guys have received so much information today. Please think about sending your email very quickly so that we can start making things happening monthly. You guys stay blessed, send me your information, continue to do well, and remember, only you can do you. You are the person to make things happen. If you want things to happen for you, then you're gonna have to get out there and do it and make it happen. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
get
We
together.
Welcome.
enjoyed you. You all have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Jamarcus, be in touch.
Bye, Mariah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Andrew and Hannah.
This has
Bye.
been so good. Hey, Jesse Walker.
Jesse Walker.
Bye, Mariah,
Hey, Cleveland
guys.
Milton.
Destiny, and Desmond. Bye.
Zarlene, I'll give you a call.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
all right.
Bye, Miss Chapman.
Amy, thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Ms. McGarvey, give me a call.
I sure will.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.